Hello guys, kindly check this application out. When we say submit, it says full name is required, email is required, comment is required. Now let's put something there. First, let's put a single number there. It says please enter your company name. How about we increase the number more than 20? It validates the maximum allowed length is 20. How about we try numbers? You can say please enter all the alphabets. So that is that. So let's put some name there, put some email there, and some message. So that is that, guys. If you want to type along with me, kindly install the following: 1. npm install Tailwind CSS forms, and 2. npm install React Hook form. Now a quick one with the Tailwind CSS form. Let's copy that. Google, paste it, and check this out. Now after the npm install, we need to do copy the require. Copy that to Tailwind config file. So we check it out. This is mine. So that is how you copy it and paste it here. So that is that. With all said and done, let's begin. Thank you very much. Let's begin by creating two folders in our SRC folder. Let's call the first one assets, and call the second one components. Components. Now let's take the first one, assets. Now in this project we have no spinners or images, so we'll leave it blank. Move to the second one, components, create a file and call it contact app.js. Now RAFCE, instead of ordinary div, why don't you make it react.fragment? So we say react.fragment. Okay. So inside that we can have a section. Okay, so inside that we have a div, then say hello. Let's link that to the app.js to view on the screen. Go to app.js, then call the contact app. Good. So that is that. Let's import it. So we say import contact app from where? From components, then where? Then contact app. Now let's check our screen to see if we got hello on the screen. Great, we got hello on the screen, means we're ready to go. So let's close all this, reposition everything since it's mobile first. Okay, good. Good guys, we're ready to go. So let's take the hello off and create a form. Why you say form? Inside the form, let's create a div for the background. So let's give the background a class name. So we give it a class name bg white, width auto, height auto, pb, padding bottom 10, margin top 5, mx5, and rounded lg. Okay, so inside that we can have our header section. Okay, so let's call our header section. Good. Now with the header section, let's create a div. Good. A div. Now inside the div, let's have a p tag. Let's call it contact us. Okay, now let's give it a class name. So we say uppercase, font bold, thirst 4XL, and thirst center. So that is that for the header. Now we can give it a height. So we say height 24, flex, justify center, item center, and some shadow. Okay, so that is that with the header section. So now let's go to the body section. So we come here and say body section. So with the body section, let's create a div. But inside that, let's create another div. So inside the first div, let's create another div. Good. So inside this second div, let's create two divs. So that was going to be, so let's take one and give it an input and an error. Okay, good. Now let's put the error here. So I can let's give another div there, then give it an error. Good. Next, let's give the input a class name. So we say give it width full text 3XL, height 16, placeholder gray 500, then rounded LG. Okay, now let's give it some margin at both ends. So we take the parent div, which is this one, give it a class name, and say mx5 space y8 mt14. Okay, so that is that with the first input. So we can even repeat this and make it, instead of div2, we just put it there. We have our div2 here. Let's rearrange everything. Good. So that is that, guys. Now the second input is going to be email, so we change the type to email, then the placeholder to gmail.com. Okay, that is that. So next is the comment section. So likewise, we take the div, parent div, then we give it another div here. So this is going to be test area again. So that is that. We don't need type. Take type off. Good. Then placeholder, we can say over here message. Then class name, height, we increase it, so we're saying 60. So that is that. Last, let's create the button. So over here we say, so over here we give it another div, then we say we give it a type submit, value submit, and a class name. We say width 1/3, height 12, bg 500, bg indigo, text white, font bold, and rounded LG. So next, let's give it some height and place it in the center. So we say, so we give the class name flex, justify center, item center, and that is it. So that is that, guys. We're ready for validation. Great. To begin validation, let's go to Google and type React to form. Good. Now inside that, let's go to the home page. Get started. Good. We've done the npm install already. So now let's copy the import. There we go. Let's make it bigger. Go up and import it. The next, let's go back again and import the handle events. So over here we can say handle events, paste it, and the next one is going to be handle submit. Handle submit. So let's go back and import it. So we copy the handle submit, paste it. Now it's console.log data. Let's make it alert to bracket JSON dot stringify to bracket data. So that is that. So next is the onSubmit on the form. Let's go check it out. Now the onSubmit on the form, let's copy it, go to our code and the form, paste it there. So that is that. Let's check it out. Okay, so when we say submit, gives us some empty data. So that is that. Now let's work on the validation. So we go back and check our register. Let's see. Okay, we got an example here. So for the input, we copy the register, then we go back and say after the input, after the class name, okay, put it there to register. Let's call it full name. Good. Now it's required, it's true. Let's make it dynamic. So we say value, let's give it true. TRE. Then comma, then we say message. Let's give it full name is required. So that is that. Let's work on the error message. Good. Error message. Yeah, let's copy that too. Then go back to code. So over here, we call the errors dot full name and span. Okay, let's make it dynamic. Errors dot full name dot message. So that is that. Let's check it out. Good. So over here, when we say submit, it says full name is required. So now let's make this, add some class name to it. We do that. We say span, where the span is good. Over here, we say give it a class name. So let's give it class name. We say give it test red and test sn. So let's check it out. Good. So you can see the, when we say submit, the full name is required. Now let's make the focus also red. So to do that, let's go to the class name for the inputs, then make it dynamic. So let's take the quote off and introduce a bracket. Good. Then inside that we introduce dynamic quotes, which is down the escape button. Good. So now inside that we can now have our dollar and a bracket. Good. Now we say errors.full name and give us a class name. Focus border red, focus ring red, and border red. So let's check it out. So you can see, guys, that is that for the test field. Now how about the maximum length for the number? Okay, the maximum length, we need a maximum and minimum length. So to do that, we go back to the, after the required, let's give it a comma, then say min length, let's give it a value 3, and the message is please enter your company name. So how about max length? Now with max length, we're going to say good, give us a value 20, then the message is going to be maximum allowed length is 20 characters. Okay, that is that. So now let's validate the field 2, so I'll make sure we don't input numbers. So to do that, we say Python, give it a value, call the regular expression. This one I had it from Google. Then the message is going to be please enter only alphabets. So that is that for the validation for the full name. Let's check it out. So when we try, let's put just some one. Okay, it's not validating. Let's call, we don't need to click the submit button before it validates. We want, when we leave the input field, it validates for us. So let's go to use form over here, then call mode. So over here, give it the bracket, then we say mode. Now mode, let's say untouched. Yeah, so let's try it out. So I type age and I leave there, it validates. Okay, so when we type more than 20 characters, it validates for us. Likewise, when we say numbers, it validates that too. So that is that for the validation for the full name. Now next, let's handle the validation for the email. So the email section is just, let's take the first one, which is the required. Okay, let's just copy everything, then take those we don't need out. So let's required. Let's copy everything here. Good. So we go to email section. Then after the class name, we paste it there. Good. So the first thing to take off required, let's change it to email is required. Now the name, let's make it, instead of full name, let's make it to email. That is that. We don't need minimum length. No, so let's delete it. Max length, delete. Good. So now next is the regular expression, which is a pattern. Now the pattern, let's take the regular expression of and give it an email regular expression. So that is that. The message is going to be, please enter a valid email and enter a valid email. Okay. So that is that. Let's check it out. Good. Okay, the error session too. Let's go copy that too. There's the error session. Let's copy. Then we go to error. Paste it there. Change the name. Errors dot email. Then errors dot email. So that is that. Let's check it out. So when you see submit, it says email is required. You type in anything. You say please enter a valid email. You can see that. Now let's make this into red. What's the name? The focus to red. So we go back and copy the focus we did for the full name. Copy that and go change the email. So likewise change it. Yeah, so that is that. Let's check it out. Yeah guys, that is it. The last one is the message. So the message, let's go copy everything. No, not here. Let's go copy the full name. Everything here will do. So good. So after the class name, push it there. We call register comment. Required 2 comments is required. Then min length 3 is cool. Max length, let's give it 60. Maximum allowed length is 60. Good. So that is that. Yeah, we don't want numbers. No validation. Let's take that off. Delete it. Now let's handle the error. Let's go copy the error too. Okay, so over here we can say errors dot comment. Then errors dot comment. Yeah, so that's that. Let's check it out. So finally you say submit, get comment is required. Now let's make the border comments also red. So let's go back, copy everything here. Good. And paste it here. It's the same, just the height. So the height will make it 60. The rest is the same. Okay, let's change the name to errors.comment. Good. That is that. Errors.email. Errors dot full name here is going to be errors.email. Good. So that is that. Let's check it out. Great, guys. That is that. So finally, we say submit. It says fill all this. So we try filling it. Then give it some message. Send. It gives us the data. So finally, let's make our app responsive. Then we can say cheers. So to do that, let's go to the mother div where the background is. Then we say at small screen make the width full, medium screen make the width 4/5. Then at same medium screen make the MX auto. Then at large screen make the width 2/5. Then at the same large screen make the MX auto. So that is that. Let's check it out. That's it, guys. So that is that, guys. Thank you for sticking through. Please don't forget to do good. Catch you in the next one. Peace.